Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we have a very exciting review because this is the day that we finally get a chance to take a look at the T-Rex Productions Concavenator resin kit. I had actually promoted this in quite a few different news videos a while back, and I really think that T-Rex Productions is one of the best up-and-coming resin kit producers, and in general have an absolutely beautiful looking line of figures, but this one specifically really spoke to me. It was something I really wanted to get my hands on, and luckily we now have a chance to look at it here. This figure did come unpainted and unassembled. I did have to put this together. I did paint this all up myself. So really your depiction of your Concavenator can really be your decision, and you can paint it and everything like that exactly as you would like. But this was kind of the vision that I went with in my head, something that I thought looked pretty good on it. And I actually took my airbrush, which I have had for quite a few months to a year or so now, and kind of practiced it out on this. I really wanted my Concavenator to end up looking pretty good because I really was a big fan of the sculpt in general. So I practiced this with my airbrush and tried to give it a very natural look, I think, and it turned out pretty decent, I guess. But again, we are here to take a look at the figure, not just my painting skill. So let's go ahead and get a closer look at this Concavenator right now. So starting up here at the head sculpt, you can see just how incredibly nicely sculpted out all the very fine details of the figure is. It's really beautifully sculpted as far as the scale work. You can see a lot of time has been spent on just the scales alone. Taking a really close look at the scales, you can see so many different variations in size, and there are many scales all over this dinosaur, as it would obviously be very scaly. So as far as the scale work goes, I think they did a fantastic job. I love that in the palette the scales are kind of bigger and thicker, and then the closer you get to the eye or out here on the snout, they become much smaller, much finer scales. Really nice detailing within the skin flap of the mouth as well, and there is a very large amount of that showing due to the very wide gaping roar that is going on currently with this figure. Really nicely sculpted teeth as well. You can see that they are all individually sculpted and look beautiful in my opinion. Really nicely done as far as that goes, and even the tongue has a very nice textured appearance to it. You can see it from each and every angle that I look at it. It's a little tough to really get a good shot. It's almost hard to pick up on the detailing of the tongue just because the upper jaw is kind of in the way. But you can trust me when I tell you it is really nicely sculpted for sure. And you can also take note in general of the skin flap that there's a nice detailing in there, a nice textured appearance to that as well, which helps to give you a lot to dry brush on and really help to add some detailing to the gums and skin flap there in the side of the mouth of your figure, really helping to give you an opportunity to add some really nice realistic paint work to your figure. Really nicely sculpted nostril up there, beautiful scoot-like appearance that runs along the ridge of the head there. The eyes are also really nicely sculpted, very easily painted, that's for sure. There's also kind of some scoots that run over top of the eye and the eyebrow area. As you start to come back into the neck, you've got some nice kind of hanging skin here in the throat. And again, you can see lots of skin wrinkling, skin folding going on, but you can really pick up on just how beautiful that scale work is as you run back the length of the dinosaur. You get right around here, you can start to see the shoulder blade picking up there. Really nicely sculpted arms. You can see the hands in general are really beautifully sculpted as well. Really nicely sculpted nails. And look at the beautiful scale work on the underside of the arms. Even in the chest region, nice chest muscles there as well. Up here on the back and the top of the head, you can see kind of some ridges that start right about here, almost like some scoots that run along the spinal column of the animal. And they also pick up on two sides here. You can see it kind of border the main scoot-like appearance down the spinal column, but you also see two lines of scoots that run along the side there as well. Really nicely done skin texture again as we run back the length of the stomach. You can see some skin wrinkling here again in that region. As we start to get back here into one of the two sail-like areas of the Concavenator, those trademark humps on the back, you can see that even those are really nicely sculpted, and you have those scoots that run along the spinal column, but then right about here they kind of turn into more like a ridge-like appearance that kind of has like a spiky appearance that runs up and over top of both areas of the hump-like area of the Concavenator. You can also see some really nice musculature here in the thigh, beautifully done there. As you come down, you can get a sense of the kneecap there as well. Really nice muscle tone in the calf there, and you can really see just how beautiful that scaling is the entire length of the leg here. As we get down into the foot sculpt is also really beautifully done, as are the nails. Really nice dew claw over here as well. They've sculpted that out perfectly. And then we get back here into the tail, and you can see that the tail has a really nice, very long curve to it. Very dynamic appearance to the sculpt overall for sure. It has a very strong curve to the entire body, and it's kind of almost in like a C-like position if you look at it from above, because it has the tail and head bent in the exact same position, the same direction. If we take a look at the opposing side, you can see how nice the head sculpt is over here as well. Really nice detailing once again. Look at how beautiful those scales are up here on the head. I really love those. Very nice detailing here on the skin flap of the mouth yet again. And the teeth look fantastic from this side as well. Once again, as we start to run back the body, you can see some nice wrinkling and everything going on up here on the top of the neck area, and then also lots of skin folds and some hanging skin and everything down here. You can also get a sense of kind of the neck tensing up and everything as the dinosaur is letting out its roar right there. So you really have a lot going on as far as the movement of the dinosaur. A lot of beautiful sculpt work showing the motion, basically. Then we get back here into the body again. Really nice shoulder blade right there. Beautiful arm sculpt as well down here, and again those really nicely sculpted hands with those beautifully sculpted nails. T-Rex Productions does such fantastic work on the sculpts of their figures. Really nice skin texture again throughout the body, and I really think that the figure almost paints itself. It really does. It's so beautifully detailed that there's not too much that you really have to do to have a really nice looking paint job on your Concavenator. Once again, we've got those humps there that run along the back of the Concavenator. They look really nicely detailed. You've got the beautiful muscle tone here in the thigh. Very nicely defined muscle tone, musculature. Very nicely sculpted kneecap there, and beautifully sculpted musculature here in the thigh. You can definitely see that it's really nicely defined. Very nicely sculpted kneecap, and again, the calf muscle is also quite beautifully present there. You can really get an idea kind of the legs tensing as well, and kind of flexing the muscles for the position that it's in. And there is the beautiful foot sculpt on this side as well. You can see just how incredibly nice the detailing and sculpt of that is. There's the dew claw once again, and the claws look great. They're really sculpted pretty much to perfection for sure. And then we head out the length of the tail once again, and you can see those very nice scales as we run out the length of the tail. They almost look snake-like, very reptilian-like as we head out the length of this very curved tail. And again, like I said, it's in a very strong curve, so you can really see just from this position alone how curved the tail is, but I think that it looks really good actually. I don't think that it looks unnatural or anything at all. Definitely a very cool appearance to it. It's almost like the Concavenator maybe was chasing a dinosaur, and the dinosaur made a quick sharp right turn and the Concavenator is running after it, maybe letting out a roar of anger toward it or something along those lines. Definitely a very cool, very dynamic looking sculpt for sure on the Concavenator. And then here is the base. I pretty much just painted this to give it a very earthy type of a texture. Really nice earthy type of a look, kind of giving you the idea that it's walking through a forested area. And I also painted out some rocks and some vines and stuff that are present, but I think that the base is really beautifully done as well. I put it on this piece of wood here, which you can actually get at Walmart for like $1. I haven't painted the wood or anything yet. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to. I kind of like the appearance like this, but I'm probably going to paint that and then maybe add some vegetation or something to this. I'm not entirely sure quite yet. I did leave the dinosaur off of the base because I'm actually going to glue it on. I have no reason to continuously take it off, but you can see the footprints there of the dinosaur. I didn't want to glue it on until after I actually reviewed this for you guys. So really nice base, and if you happen to head to Walmart, you can grab one of these really cool wooden bases that you could put your actual Earth-like base on top of, and I think the dinosaur stands perfectly on it as well, even if you don't glue it on, which I intend to just because I don't want it to fall off. If one of my kids happen to bounce around or anything and bang around in my house, they'll probably knock it right off. But if you have somewhere that you're not going to have that going on, you don't have to glue it on. It actually stands quite nicely within the footprints and does balance quite well. But me personally, my kids are far too dangerous, but I really think the base looks great. Definitely beautifully sculpted, just like the dinosaur itself. As I said, you've got footprints there. You just basically have to match the Concavenator up with the footprints, which at first might be a little difficult to do, but once you match the footprints up with the feet, it balances really, really well. So as far as the size goes, and it's actually kind of complicated to give you a good idea of what the size is due to the positioning of the body with the tail kind of wrapping around. Doesn't leave me too much room here to get a shot of it, but from the tail, I think, to the head, the longest point, you're probably looking at close to 9 inches or about 23 centimeters, 22.5 centimeters, somewhere in that range. For a height, the highest point of the body would be the head. You're looking at about 5 inches or 13 centimeters. And for the tail, about 7.5 inches or 9 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, Robert Muldoon, and the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, all right here next to our Concavenator to hopefully give you an idea of what the size of it truly is. Definitely a really nice size. It has some significant size to it, honestly. It's no small dinosaur kit, that's for sure. Without question, it's a beautifully sized Concavenator, really striking size. And you can probably tell that next to these figures right here. So this T-Rex Productions Concavenator resin kit here that I have to look at with you guys today is absolutely beautiful. Really nicely sculpted, that is for sure. I think that the scale work specifically is extremely impressive to me. It's really nicely sculpted as far as the scales go. Beautifully defined scales, and again, the scales are all different sizes all throughout the body. Really well done for sure. As far as T-Rex Productions sculpt work goes, I think they really spent a lot of time overall trying to give you the absolute best quality product here and the absolute most amount of sculpt work that you could possibly apply to this. It's definitely really all nicely there. Really beautiful work as far as showing the movement of the dinosaur as well, even to the point of kind of flexing the muscles in the throat area because of the positioning of the head and the jaw and everything. You can really see kind of the movement of what would be occurring in the neck in the sculpt due to what's going on with the mouth and the head area. Also a really nice touch for sure. Everything as far as the sculpt work looks great when it comes to the minute detailing, but the overall pose is also really cool, very dynamic. I actually don't really see a pose like this too often, and I'm not sure why. The mouth of the Concavenator is really wide, open really quite a distance for sure, and I think that's one of the very striking attributes of this kit due to the mouth being so wide. It looks so different than most kits, and I really think that was a very cool choice, especially with the tongue kind of hanging out there, showing just a really cool scene taken straight out of history. Beautiful curves in the tail as well. And the overall pose is just incredibly striking, incredibly flashy, but really nice, very natural looking for sure. I don't see anything that I would imagine would be really out of the realm of movement for a Concavenator. It's definitely something I could see a dinosaur like this pulling off. The base is also really well sculpted, pretty much just as nicely sculpted as the dinosaur is. Definitely a very nice addition to the set, and the overall appearance of everything together is extremely professionally done, really beautiful for sure. The paintwork, that's really up to you guys, up to you how you want to paint it. I painted mine like this. It's just kind of what came to mind when I was painting it, and I thought it turned out pretty nicely. It was fun to practice my airbrush on, as this is only the second dinosaur I've ever painted with an airbrush, but I was really happy with the result for sure. So if you want to order this, I don't know entirely if there are any more left, because it was kind of close to selling out the last I had heard, but you can contact T-Rex Productions. In the description, I will leave a link for you, or you can also actually contact me to get a hold of them if you don't have social media. I would like to help anybody acquire anything that they would like from this channel, because that's pretty much my goal with the channel, is getting you the figures you want. So if you are interested in this, again, you can either contact T-Rex Productions or myself, and if there is enough interest, then they would probably produce more of these kits. So definitely check out the description or contact me, and I will help you again to contact T-Rex Productions and try to pick up this incredible resin kit from T-Rex Productions or any of the other work that they are currently releasing or have already released. Really awesome work here on this Concavenator specifically, but it really shows you the level of work from that company, so I'd imagine pretty much anything you get from them is going to be quality. So again, make sure you get yourself some awesome T-Rex Productions kits. But before you do that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.